Hi there, this is Meri at the Meri Atelier, and I thought that I would show you a technique that I use to untangle thread. This is some thread that I got at the thrift store, and it really is nice crochet thread. This is that Lily mercerized crochet thread. I do like it a lot. I use this to tat with mostly. I do not crochet with it. I'm using it for tatting. I don't know if they have a size on this or not. It's color 4. I do not see a size. Oh, size 20. So size 20 thread is a good thread. However, what they have done here on a couple of these rows, and I'll show you on this one, I think is okay. This one might be okay. I have to open it up yet. And if they're okay, I'm going to wind them on this spindle. And then I'll just have a spindle of thread. But this one has been cut. And it is twisted, twisted, twisted. And I've been working on this all morning. And let me make sure that I'm in frame here. You can see most of it. Okay. So I've been working on getting this untwisted. And you can see they cut it at both ends here. They cut it in the center. And they probably use it to stitch with. It's a fairly long piece, maybe about a yard wide, but it's all twisted up. And I have been working all morning to untwist this. And I kind of want to show you my technique. On here, I believe on this side, is it on this side or? I've been dividing these into sections. I think I've been working on this side. I've been dividing them into sections. And what I've learned while doing this, of course, you want to, there's a natural twist in here. I'm not sure if that's caused by the manufacturing process or the person that opened this up. I don't know. But see how these threads in here, can you see? Let me check. Let me zoom in just a teeny bit. Right in here, how these threads kind of cross over to each other. This thread right here that looks like it's in this bunch crosses over to here. And I have learned while doing this, if I catch those threads first and pull them out and get them over into their home, sometimes I have to work at it, but it goes much, much easier. You see, if I'm not careful, I can get it tangled down here below. And I just kind of gently work out the threads that are causing the knotting, like this thread here. He's really crossing paths over here. He's way over in this group. So I just kind of gently work out the threads that cross the little sections. And when I sit at my chair and do this, I have all of these separated out into like little sections, little thread sections. And then I find the thread that's causing the issue. On this one, it looks like it's this thread. And then I just pull it out and kind of straighten out and I work on a section at a time here. I don't try to, and you can on this shake it, and I do that, but I'm finding that shaking this type of a tangle is not as effective as if you're shaking one that's not cut. That's just my opinion. I do find that the ones that are not cut, the shaking method works better. And if you've watched me a while, you have seen me shake the threads. I'm not going to try it with this. But see, you just kind of find the pieces that cross over and gently try to pull them out. Now, needle workers will, and they'll cut these hanks of thread in half. You know, those just snip from there, and then they'll pull a thread that they want to use. So just pull it out. I'm not sure that I want to do this. My intention is when I get one of these all untangled and all smoothed out, I think I'm going to try to dye it. I watch K3N Cloth Tales, and she dyes threads when she does her eco dyeing. She throws in a little loop of threads. You don't want a big hank of threads when you dye. Well, I guess you could, but you would want to kind of separate out the threads so that, especially where they cross over, if you dyed this under part here may not get colored like you want it. So I would follow what K3N does and just dye a little loop of it at a time. And by a little loop, I mean maybe something like a section, you know, something like, I don't know if I'd even cross it too much. Just something like that, throw it in the dye pot. And I have some blue PT that I'm working with to dye. I could dye this with the walnut dye, the walnut stain that I have. I'm going to throw out a lot of my acorn dye. It's not dark enough for me. It's not even dark enough on the paper. And then when it dries, it's even lighter. I'm not happy with the acorn dye that I made, but I love my walnut dye. And I found, as I was cleaning out upstairs, I found some more crushed walnuts that I had purchased a couple years ago. And yeah, they did it up nice for me. And that will make more walnut stain, but I'm not I'm not needing any more right now. Now see how this is all, it's folded in on itself here. So look how this thread comes from this tangle over to this tangle. And I just kind of pull it out and put it in its home. And I look for the threads that are crossing segments. This one is crossing. So let's just pull it out. And if you sit and do this enough, you get some nice separations going on in here. That's kind of my technique for untangling something like this. This came all tangled up. Like I said, I purchased it at a thrift store. Now see how these in here are crossing segments. This one is kind of crossing. This one, he goes up over that way. This one is caught in the tangle right in here. And you just kind of have to find out where they live and take them home. Take those little strays home. Oh. And it's not too hard. In fact, I sit and listen to videos while I'm doing this. This is kind of meditative in a way. I'm not trying to finish a project or anything like that. And this is, this is thread that, yeah, there's a lot of, I could pull out the thread separately and untangle it as I stitch, but I don't want to do that. I think I want to dye DYE most of this. Now see, this is all living in different homes. This thread is coming over into this group. Nope, you come back home. This thread is in a different home. Let's pull him back over into his home. This one is found visiting in another segment. And let's see what's going on in here. So that's kind of, and if I work at it enough, I have several segments all untangled. And I just sit and work at it, see how these threads are, they're finding, they're not in their home. Just kind of gently. And sometimes you have to pull them clear down, but this thread is, yeah, you could work with a couple threads at a time too. They tend to, when you pull on it, they tend to tangle down at the bottom. So it works sometimes and other times it doesn't. See, it's getting caught in here. Yeah. Where's the end of this? They hold on to each other. They said, we're not ready to leave. I'm not ready to go home yet. And sometimes if you kind of spread them out, you can see where the issues are. Like for right now, this was causing a issue. Right in here. Pull him out. And then I can get this one out. This little thread here is crossing over. And just kind of pull him out. And before you know it, they're all straight again. And even when you think you have them in their home, well, you do kind of. Here's one that's visiting. But even within their own home, they get tangled up. Like such as here, I call this one a segment. I said it's in its home, but see, he's kind of tangled up in here. So you just kind of have to gently pull them out, get them nice and straight in their own home. Now I imagine you could sit and try to pull each thread out separately, like what the needle workers do when they're wanting a thread. You know, they would pull on one thread and gently pull it till the end comes out. Sometimes that works, but see, I'm working on this big knot in here. This seems to be everything else. I think this was the one that I had pretty much untangled before I came in here. Let me switch this around. See, I have this pretty much into segments. Not that the segments are all untangled, but here's one. There's a couple in there, here, and you just kind of spread them out into their different little, this one I think I was still working on, but he's not too bad. You see how that one crossed over? These threads, they'll cross over. That's part of their twist. When they twist, they cross over. Yeah. And when they get into a loop like this, generally it's because they're twisted down at the bottom. So go down to the bottom and untwist them, and then you can continue on. Let me get these undone. Once I get started doing this, I get so into it that I don't want to quit until until I'm satisfied and I'm at a good stopping point, which would be done. That would be the best stopping point when you have it all done. And see, I still have twists. Okay. I'll take this in and I'll work on this when I'm watching TV or listening to videos. This is kind of a meditative thing to do, but you should have seen this when I first started. It was a mess when I first started, and you just have to be patient and separate out all these little segments, find the threads that are crossing over. See, there are threads there that are crossing over each other, and try to separate them into different worlds, and find your segments that you've already separated out and try to keep them nice and clean. As you work with it, they'll try to tangle back up on you, but not as bad, and you can separate them out. So that is my technique of separating out a tangled hank of thread that's been cut in the center, probably cut in half. I hope that somebody out there has learned something to doing this. The biggest thing is just to have patience doing it. Yeah, just have some patience. Let's get this done here. There we go. See, I don't want to quit. I don't want to quit. I think I'm at a good stopping point, and then I say, no, I got to do this one. Yeah. Alrighty. So I've got several segments going here, and I'll keep working from the top down, keep untangling them. I got some other things I want to work on today yet. I'm working on my Society of Idea Collector scribble journal, and I'm only going to put in scribbles of when I'm watching Dee Dee's Society of Idea Collector playlist videos. She's doing a Society of Idea Collector. And I've finished copying my notes over from Monday's session, and I put a date. My tabs I'm going to put up here at the top. So next week I'll put, gosh, I think I had like 13 pages, 15 pages. So when I start next week, I'll put a tab right here and here. And I might cover up some of my writing, but I can figure it out. And I need to bind this together. I'm going to do the Coptic style binding. And we'll see how far we get in this. It's really fun to do. I might do another scribble journal. I have some more of this type of paper left, where I'd like to go back through her playlist. She's got hundreds of videos in her Society of Idea Collector playlist. And I'd like to go through and listen to them and take notes in my scribble journal. It's kind of something I want to do. So thank you for watching. And yeah, I'm going to put up a couple more little videos today. If you're in my community center, my Viv Diggity Community Center, which is my membership area, I have some things I'm going to put up in there. We're working on some projects. Not big projects, just, just fun things that you can do in your spare time. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.